Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you've got multiple amaryllis bulbs, you might notice a frustrating problem. Some just refuse to grow roots, even weeks after planting. I have some too. After more than a month, a few of my bulbs have no roots at all. In today's video, we'll tackle this issue. We are diving into why amaryllis bulbs sometimes don't grow roots, and what you can do to encourage them to start rooting. In the final chapter of the video, I share a story of the most challenging bulb that I've ever dealt with. This journey spanned 6 months, filled with countless attempts and failures, but also one surprising success. Don't miss it. Okay, let's get started. Chapter 1. Top 3 factors that affect amaryllis rooting. To conclude, there are 3 main factors that affect amaryllis rooting. 1. Bulb health and condition. The bulb must be healthy and free from diseases such as rot, mold, or physical damage. The basal plate where the roots grow should be intact and firm. 2. Temperature. The ideal temperature for root development is 65 to 77 degrees Fahrenheit. 3. Moisture and humidity. Ensure the basal plate is in contact with moist soil or a suitable rooting medium. Maintain moderate humidity to keep the bulb and basal plate from drying out. Chapter 2. Step-by-step guide to address rooting issues in amaryllis bulbs. Amaryllis bulbs can behave differently. Some bloom first with roots and leaves following, while others develop leaves and flower buds simultaneously. Both scenarios are normal. Typically, leaf growth indicates that roots are developing too. However, if weeks go by without leaves, or no leaves emerge even after the flowers fade, this is normal, and it's time to take action. Here's how. Step 1. Unpot and check bulb health. Carefully remove the bulb from the soil and check its condition. Treatment depends on the bulb state. For a bulb with a thick basal plate can hinder rooting as they are often aged and less vigorous. Trim a thin layer of the basal plate's surface with a sharp, clean tool. But don't overdo it. Some basal plate must remain for the bulb to survive. For this bulb, I trimmed so much that part of it has no basal plate, which is a negative sample. Luckily, the other part still has a portion of basal plate. These are the rooting eyes, where roots will come out. For bulb with a rotten or damaged basal plate, use a sterilized knife to trim off any moldy or decayed areas. Ensure all unhealthy parts are removed, but still with at least a portion of the healthy basal plate remained. After trimming, dust the cut with antifungal powder, such as sulfite or cinnamon powder, to prevent further infection. Let the bulb dry in a well-ventilated area for a few days. For bulb with a thin basal plate, if the bulb appears healthy but isn't rooting, its rooting eyes may be inactive. Gently clean the basal plate with a soft brush. After that, if no root eyes are visible, carefully peel back the outer layer of the basal plate with your fingernail to expose fresh root eyes. This stimulates and reactivates the root growth points. You should see fresh, white root eyes at the base. Here are all the bulbs with different conditions that I've been treated. I'll place them in a shade and dry spot to allow them to dry for a few days. It can be 3 days or 5 days, whatever. It doesn't matter, as long as the cutting wound have healed. You'll notice the root eyes seem to be popping out a little bit. Then we'll continue the next step. Step 2. Prepare a medium to promote rooting. I've tested various mediums, including water, sand, and perlite. No matter which medium you choose, it should meet with these key requirements. 1. The medium should be sterilized and free from fertilizers to prevent infections. 2. It must remain consistently moist to support root development. 3. You'd better use a single medium instead of a mix. For this batch, I use sawdust. To sterilize the sawdust, I let it dry under the sun for 1 to 2 days. Then, I use a mist bottle to dampen the sawdust before placing the bulbs on top. The bulbs are kept in an airy location away from direct sunlight. On the following days, check the moisture level regularly and mix the medium again when it starts to dry out. The time it takes for roots to develop varies. It could be a few weeks or maybe 1 to 2 months. Each bulb responds differently. After a month, most of them are beginning to grow roots. However, this bulb shows no signs of rooting. So I decided to change the medium from sawdust to water. This bigger bulb was treated and set on water weeks ago. And now it is growing beautiful white roots, and it's time to transplant it into soil medium. With such long and delicate roots, we must be careful in transplanting. Hold the bulb above the soil with one hand and gently add soil around the roots with your other hand. Ensure roots are completely covered while leaving half of the bulb exposed above the soil. After 2 months, most of the bulbs have started to grow leaves. Let's take a closer look at their roots. Some bulbs have only grown 1 or 2 tiny roots. See this one? Even though the roots are very small, it's still a good sign. It means the bulb is activating. Others have developed strong, deep roots that are firmly anchored in the medium. Look at these, such beautiful roots. A quick tip: during the root encouragement process, avoid pulling the bulb to check their root growth. This can actually delay rooting. Be patient and let the bulb do its thing. You'll know it's rooting when you see new leaf growth. When transplanting, protect the roots by handling them carefully. Hold the bulb steady and gently add soil around the roots, ensuring they are well covered. Keep half of the bulb exposed above the soil for healthy growth. Finally, give them a good watering after planting to help them settle in their new home. Chapter 3. The Most Stubborn Bulb, from May the 20th to November the 20th. Now let me tell you the story of the most challenging bulb I've never dealt with. This journey spanned 6 months, filled with countless attempts and failures, but also one surprising success. May the 20th, a month after planting, I discovered it was infested with root mites. I unpotted it, trimmed the basal plate, and washed it thoroughly under the water. Then I let it dry for a few days. May the 25th, I placed it on water to encourage rooting. No luck. June the 18th, I moved it to damp sawdust. Again, no roots. July 20th. I tried removing the outer layer of the basil plate with my fingernail and placed it on damp sawdust again. August the 20th. Yet another failure. Still no roots. Frustrated but determined, I put it back on water. October the 10th. It grew long leaves but still had no roots. Worse, it appeared infected with red blotch. I trimmed the basil plate again and cut off the leaves. October the 12th. I placed it on water once more. Looking back, I'm not sure why I kept trying water. Probably because the weather was hot and water stayed moist longer than other mediums. October the 18th. I tried sitting it on wet tissue paper this time. October the 28th. Disaster. The basil plate was almost completely rotten. I peeled off the outer layer with my fingernail, thinking, I'm done. But then I thought, one last chance. I placed it on moist peat moss and said, go and sleep there. This is your final attempt. November the 20th. Bingo! Finally, it started to grow roots. What a stubborn bulb. This journey was a roller coaster, but in the end, persistence paid off. If you are dealing with a challenging bulb, don't give up too soon. Sometimes, success comes when you least expect it. This variety is called Amaryllis Angel-McGree, and I can't wait to see it bloom in the future. It's going to be so exciting. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.